Let me show you how I helped a client make an extra 2K by using ChatGPT to automate their entire cold email outreach. The best part, they're spending exactly 10 minutes a day managing it. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is leverage through automation. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to build this system step by step. No coding required, no complex text, just AI automation. But first, let me tell you why most people fail with AI automation. They overcomplicate it. They try to automate everything at once, and they end up with a mess that breaks more than it works. I'm going to show you the exact opposite approach, the minimum automation that gets maximum results. If you're new to the channel, I'm Kevin, and I've been in the online space for almost 10 years, and for the past 2 years, I've been selling AI automations to businesses. The system that I'm about to show you is one of the hottest markets right now. And there is a serious lack of professionals who truly know how to do this. That means massive opportunity for you. By the end of this video, you will have a fully automated email outreach system, AI-powered personalization that converts, and a skill set that businesses are desperate to pay for. Let's get into it. Here is what we are building today. ChatGPT system that pulls leads information from a spreadsheet, writes personalized email, and then uses make.com to send them automatically. Think of it like having a sales team that works round the clock, but at the friction of the cost. First, let's set up ChatGPT, but here is where most people mess up. They just ask ChatGPT to write an email. Instead, we are going to create what's called a CustomGPT. Think of it as training your own AI assistant specifically for email outreach. Let's start by creating a CustomGPT. So on the left menu, navigate to Explore GPTs and click Create. Now, you can create it through this builder that ChatGPT will show you over here, but I'm just going to configure and do it everything manually. You need to get better at prompt engineering. I'm not going to cover now how to create the perfect prompt. I'm going to paste here a prompt that I already created. I'm going to show you the main things you need to know. Let's name, first of all, our ChatGPT, CustomGPT, I'm going to name it Drop Me, just so I know later on to remove it. And let's name that Cold Leads Outreach. Great. Here you can put a short description called, let's copy this one as well, AI cold leads, and it will just show it here, just the description for that. Now, I have here this entire prompt, and if you want to get everything that I'm showing you over this video, and you want to shortcut all of the hard work, check the link below. I'm giving everything away, all the done for you templates and the custom GPT that I will show you in a couple of minutes, so you can get everything in the link below. So here you can see it says, this GPT acts as a content forwarding agent. What we are going to do first, we are going to create a custom GPT that sends emails. Then we'll use that template and we will use the capabilities of pulling information from spreadsheets, but we are starting from now just from sending our emails. So let's get back to our custom GPT. So for now, we give it a role. So we say that this is a custom GPT that acts as a content forwarding agent. And we want to let it know that every time we say post or email me or whatever, we want this chat GPT to grab the text that we are giving it. We want it to grab the email that we want to send that email to, and we want it to trigger a post request using make.com. We will see that in a minute. If you're not familiar with get methods and post methods, I highly recommend you checking out our previous videos. We had a few videos, a series of videos explaining everything for beginners in plain English. But just a quick explanation. We are going to use APIs, which is a way of sending data through different apps. And there are two methods. You have the get method, which is used to pull information from one service to another. And there is the post method, which is used to send data. So for example, when we want to send our email from ChatGPT, the text, not the email, just the content of the email, the title of the email, the body of the email, we want to send it from ChatGPT to make.com, we are going to use a post method. When we want to retrieve data from make.com or from a spreadsheet or whatever to our ChatGPT account, we are going to use a get method. I'm going to show you everything step by step and make it very easy to follow. So don't worry if you don't have any technical experience, but I highly recommend you checking the previous videos as well. Let's get back to our prompt. So in this section, it says, after receiving the text from the user, you will need to receive an email to send the email to. So this is the text that we wanted to, the email that we want to send, and then we need to receive the email we want to send the email to. And once you get it, you need to trigger the post action, which we are going to set up in a minute. You need to set up a post action, you will see how to do that, and send a JSON file with 3 fields in the body. So we are going to trigger the post method to send our information from ChatGPT to make.com, and we are going to send a JSON. So a JSON is just a piece of text that we are including in our post method, in our post request, and it's going to have these 3 keys, 3 fields, which one of them is the title, the content of the email, and the email to send the email to. And so you can see here it says title equals a corresponding title that ChatGPT should prepare. The content is going to be the text, but make it beautiful and in an HTML format. So we are doing that so whenever we are going to send the email through Make, we want it to look beautiful already. And the email, this is the recipient's email. And here is an example of the text. So you can see here it says, hello world, I'm testing this new automation. Here is the recipient's email. So it's going to send it to my test email account. And here's the example of the JSON. So you can see it should build the title and the content of the email with beautiful, with like HTML tags. And here we have the example of the JSON that it will send. So you can see here it says title, hello world, testing, blah, blah, blah. We have the content of the email with the HTML tags. And then we have the email, the recipient's email. And this is going to be sent from ChatGPT to our Make account. So this is briefly our prompt. I'm going to close it for now. And the next thing you need to do in order for that to work, you need to scroll down. And this is what is going to connect ChatGPT to the real world. We are going to create a new action. So when you click create new action, you're going to need to set up your schema here. Your schema is basically a piece of code that helps ChatGPT to create a post request or a get request. So this is how it's going to talk with make.com. So you're probably asking yourself, how am I create this piece of code? So don't worry, I got you covered. I created another custom GPT that is going to help you step by step how to do that. So here's my custom GPT. It's named Webhook Integration Guide. So let's click, let's start. And it will take us step by step, all of the steps that we need to take in order to do that. So the first step is to create a custom webhook. So we need to go to make.com, create our scenario, and create a custom webhook. So I'm going to go to my Make account. I'm going to click create a new scenario. Let's give it a proper name. So I'm going to name it 7. Let's name it Blueprint because I'm giving it away. Blueprint leads rich from ChatGPT. Perfect. So now I need to click the plus button, choose a webhook, and choose custom webhooks. A webhook is a way for apps to talk to each other, and this is a way of signifying to another app that something happens. So it's just a way of creating a notification. So whenever we are triggering the request in ChatGPT, it's going to trigger this webhook. The next thing you need to do is you need to create the webhook over here. So I'm going to click add. I'm going to name it drop me so I can remove it later. And I already have one here. So let's name that lead generator 3. I'm going to click save, and now it's waiting to get a request. So for now, I'm just going to copy the address to this clipboard, and I'm going to click OK. Don't worry, we're going to come back to that later. Now I'm going back to our Webhook integration guide, and I'm going to paste it. Hold on. So I'm going to say done. So I'm going to let it know that we created our custom webhook. And now it's asking us, are you creating a GET, a POST, or both type of requests? So for now, let's start with just a POST, and we are going to update that later. So I'm going to type here POST. Great. So now it asks us for the following stuff. So now it asks us the following questions. First of all, we need to give it the webhook URL. So we just copy that from our webhooks module. You can click here, copy address to clipboard, and the next thing it wants is to provide the list of fields you want to send in the post request. So in our case, if I go back to our CustomGPT that we started creating, you'll see that we just over here say we are going to send these 3 fields. So it's going to be the title, the content, and the email. So I'm going to just copy that, and let's go back here and paste these 3 fields. Let me see if we need anything else. Ensure reports requires and okay. So I'm going to paste here these three fields and the webhook, and look what we got. First of all, we got an example of a JSON body. Why do we need that? Because we are going to copy that, and we are going back to our prompt. And here you see I already have one over here as an example. It's very important to include examples if you want to get good prompts. I'm not going now into details of how to create a great prompt, but it's very important to include an example, especially if you want to get something that is very, very specific. So in this case, we need to get exactly the following fields. The next thing we need to do is go back to our assistant, and now we are going to copy this schema over here. So you can see this is a schema, this entire piece of code. I'm going to just copy this code. I'm going back to our CustomGPT, to the new ChatGPT, the new GPT, and I'm going back to our actions over here, here we already have one, and I'm just going to paste what we got from our assistant. Let's scroll down, and you should see here a post method. So in order to test that, first of all, we want to go back here to our module. We want to click here, and we want to click the red determine data structure. So this is going to listen to any request and determine the structure of the data that we are sending. Let's go back here to our CustomGPT, click test, and now it will ask us to provide an email. Let's say something like, hey, I am testing this new CustomGPT that sends emails. Now it's going to ask us to provide an email address. So I'm just going to paste here my test email. Going to click here, okay, and now it should ask for permission. I'm going to click confirm, and if I go back to look what happened. We can see here successfully determined. So everything works great. I'm going to click OK, and that's awesome. Next, we need to add another module to send our email. So I'm going to click here, add another module. I'm going to search for email. It's over here, and I'm going to click add send an email here. Send an email. Perfect. Now you need to create a connection. So click add and just follow the instructions. It's very self-explanatory. I already have one created over here. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to scroll down. This is the recipient who is going to get that email. So I'm going to click add the recipient. And now when I click at email address, it's going to pull data from let me show you here, from this module, from the webhook module. So I'm going to choose email. Next, the subject, I'm going to pull it from here as the title. connection type is HTML, and we already asked ChatGPT to format the email that we want with HTML tags, so it's going to look beautiful. And here under content, I'm going to choose content. Great. So let's click OK, and we should be basically ready to send our email. It's very, very easy. And so let's test that. So first of all, we need to click run once. Now we're going back to ChatGPT over here, and let's test it again. So I'm going to click test. It says, please provide the content you'd like me to send along the recipient's email. So I'm going to type here, hey, it's Kevin again. I am testing this new AI assistant that sends emails using ChatGPT. I'm going to paste here my test email. Great, and let's see what happens. So it's asking for confirmation. I click confirm, and this email has been successfully sent to the provided address. Let me know if you need any further assistance. If I go back to make, we can see we got one operation here and one over here. And so if I click here, you can see the output from the webhook. So you see testing email assistant, the HTML, and the email. And we can also click on the emails operation and scroll down. We should see it in here. You can see here the input. So let's go back to our inbox and see if we got that email. Great. So you can see here, I got from myself an email because this is the email we used. And it says, hey, and you can see we got this spacing because we asked to use HTML tags. And it says, it's Kevin again. I'm testing this new AI assistant that sends emails using ChatGPT. So boom, it works great. So now you can send whatever you want using ChatGPT to whatever email you want. So this is the first part, very, very easy. Just follow these steps. You need to create a custom GPT. You need to create an action that uses a post request. You need to add a schema, and you can use my CustomGPT in order to do that. And you need to specify the JSON. So you want to explain ChatGPT exactly how the data that you're sending from ChatGPT to make will look like. And this is why we use that specific JSON. And it's also mentioned in the schema, but we want to make sure that everything is written and everything is defined correctly. And now we want to get into the second part of the automation, which is pulling information from a spreadsheet. So let's go back to our scenario. And what we need to do now, we need to unlink these modules, and we need to add a router. This will basically route the information and the scenario to as many paths that you want. So let's remove these ones. We don't need this one, and we don't need this one. Great. So from now we can see that our router has only one path, which is the sending email one. And now we want to add another one, which is pulling information from a spreadsheet. So I'm going to search for Google Sheets. And here, if I search for get, you have this module, which is named get range values. This will basically pull multiple values from your spreadsheet. Now you need to create a connection. So I already have it ready, and you can just click add and follow the instructions. Pretty much very self-explanatory. And next, I'm going to search for the specific spreadsheet that I want to use. So I already created this spreadsheet with these 3 fields. So this will represent a list of leads that you're scraping. For example, the company name, you have the email to send this email to. In this case, I just use my test emails, and you have the description of the service. So let's say you're scraping that from their websites, or you got a list including the information about the client, and we will use that later to create customized emails for each one of these leads. So what I need to do now, I'm going to go here, and in our URL, you can see that after the spreadsheet /d/ comes this unique ID. We want to copy that up until the /edit. So I'm going to copy that, and this is the unique ID of our spreadsheet. And I'm going back to make, and search method, you can search it by paths manually. Just go to your drive and find it, but I'm just going to select from all. I'm going to paste here my spreadsheet's ID, and that's it. Great. So now sheet name, we need to choose here and choose the map, choose sheet 1, and then range. We want to let it know what is the range of the table. So I'm just going to copy from this example here below. Yeah, great. Now let's do table contains headers. Yes, and we can say what are the, let's leave it blank, so it's going to use the entire first line as header. So I'm going to click OK. Perfect. So now let's test just this Google Sheet module. So I'm going to right click and choose run this module only. And let's see what we got. We got here this bundle. Let me show you. These bundles, we got 6 bundles. So the first one is the header, and then we got the 5 leads from our spreadsheet. We have the name, the email, and the description of their service. If I go to number 3, you'll see the same name, email, and the description. Great. So it works great. And now we want to create a JSON out of these bundles. So here we are getting 5 bundles, 6 bundles. We want to pack it in a JSON file and then send that back to ChatGPT. So in order to do that, we need to choose the plus sign, add a module. You can search here, you need to choose the aggregate to JSON. Now we want to source the module, which is the module we are sourcing the bundles from. So I'm going to go here and choose Google Sheets. So it's going to go back to our previous module. Now, as for data structure, we need to prepare the structure of the JSON. So the same as we did in our CustomGPT, it was back here. Let me find it here. This is the structure, the title, the content, and the email. We need to do the same thing here on make.com so we can send that back to ChatGPT. So I'm going to create a new structure. I'm going to click add. Let's name that drop me, and I have lead generator. So I'm just going to name that 4. And now I want to specify the 3 fields that we are going to use. So the first one was the company name. I'm just going to name it exactly the same, even though it doesn't really matter if it's exactly the same. The type is text, so it's none of the other ones, so it's a text field. I'm going to add another item, which is the email, and the third item, which is the description of their service. Great. So now we created the structure, and we want to let Make know which values and where it should pull the data in order to create this aggregated JSON. So basically, under company name, it means that I'm going to click here and I'm going back to my Google Sheet module, and I'm going to choose the company name. So what it is going to do, it's going to aggregate all the companies from all of the bundles we saw earlier into one JSON file with multiple objects inside of it. And it's going to have the company name, the value, from company name related to a key that is named company name. So if I go back to our CustomGPT, just to explain it in plain English, we have for example, the title. This is the key, and this is the value of that key. The content is the key, and the email is another key. So this is the key, this is the value. And here, as we saw earlier, we created the structure with these 3 keys, which is company name, email, and description of their service. And we want to map the values. So I'm mapping the email value from the previous module and the description from the previous module. So it's very easy because I use the same names for everything. And let's click OK. Lastly, we need to send back the information from Make to ChatGPT. So I'm going to click the plus sign, I'm going to click webhooks, and then I'm going to have response. And what this is going to do is whenever the status is 200, which means that the request was successful, we are going to send the information through the body of the web. So I'm just going to click here in the body, and I'm going to pull the JSON string from our previous module. So just to explain it in plain English, the Google Sheet will pull all of the information from our Google Sheet. The aggregate to JSON module will prepare a JSON where all of the different rows will be in a beautiful JSON file. I'll show you in a second. And then the webhook response will send the response back to the system that sent the webhook respond originally that started this scenario. So now we need to make some updates to our CustomGPT. We need to update first of all, the prompt. So now it's not only sending information, it has a different role of pulling information and preparing the leads information and then sending them personalized information. So I already have the prompt ready. So I'm going to go here. I'm just going to go through the main things. So now the ChatGPT acts as a content forwarding and lead generation agent. It processes input content and sends it through specific actions when prompted. It performs the following functions. Content forwarding. So whenever the user says post or email me or anything similar, the ChatGPT prepares the content as an email to be forwarded in an HTML format. And this is the format. It's going to send the title, the content, and the email. This is basically what we already saw earlier. Now we have the lead generation custom email creation. So whenever we start or fetch leads or get leads or whatever, it's going to use a get request this time to receive information from make.com about our leads. And it's going to receive a JSON containing the following fields: the company name, the email, and the description of the service. Then the system should basically rewrite an email personalized to our leads description of business. So we are going to send a very personalized email. And at the end of it, we wanted to send the JSON that we saw earlier. So basically, just to explain the flow, we are going to pull information from the spreadsheet about our leads, the leads email, and what the company does. We are going to personalize the email, and then we are going to use the first automation we created already that sends emails to our leads. So if I scroll down, I'm giving a few examples of how the information looks like. So here we have, for example, the fetched lead JSON. So this is what we are going to get here from the JSON response. I'm going to get the company name, and this is an example, the email, and I'm going to get the description of the service. Then it's going to draft an email that is tailored to that business description, and then it's going to post just as we did earlier with the title, the content, and the email. So now the last thing we need to do here, we need to update our action. If you recall, for now we only have a get action, a post action, but we also want to get information this time. So I'm going back to this schema, and now I'm going to say I want to update my schema also to have to get to a get method in addition to our existing post method. The post works, so we just need to add the get. So now we are going to be asked for a few details. So first of all, it should ask us if it's the same webhook URL. Let's see, details needed, response example. Okay, we're going to do that in a second. So I'm going to say here, this is the same webhook link. And now, in addition to the webhook link, we need to specify what is the information that we are getting back from our webhook response. So we are using a get response. We need to let the system know what we are expecting to get. So I'm going to click here, and I'm just going to take a screenshot of the JSON module. So in this case, it already has the company name, the email, and the description. So I just took a screenshot. I'm going back to my assistant and I'm pasting the screenshot here. I could just specify here, by the way, exactly this field's name, the data structure of the company name, email, etc. But sorry, let me go back here and I just paste it in here. So let's see if we are getting back what we are expecting, which is the new updated schema. Okay, great. I think it's ready. Let's see. Almost great. So let's copy this schema. Let's go back to our actions in our new custom GPT and let's delete and paste the new one. I'm going to scroll down and this time you can see we have two methods. We have the get and we have the post. So now let's test everything. We need to first of all, no, I don't think we need to redetermine, but we need to add here a filter. So we need to let the system know if it should go here to our sending email in case it's a post, or in case if it's a get to go to this part of the scenario. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to set up a filter. And in case that we are getting, let me go back to this one first. In case that we are getting information, let's name that post method. In case we are getting information in our webhook URL, like the title, the content, and the email, it means that we sent data, and that is the post method. So I'm going to choose the post. This is the condition, and in the condition, we are going to do exist. So if we are sending data through our webhook, we are sending information, then it's going to have here some information, which means it's going to exist. And it's going to go through this part of this scenario. And now I'm going to add another filter here that does exactly the opposite. So I'm going to choose get method, condition is going to be title, and we are going to choose here, do not exist. And let's click OK. Great. Okay, so I fucked up and the charger was not connected to my laptop, so it almost shut down. But anyways, let's get back to testing our scenario. So now we need to click run once. And this one is the scenario is going to wait. And here I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click get a test to see if fetching the data works. So we should probably wait for a confirmation. Okay, so it works without it. So look what happens. If I go back to make, we can see here one operation. We can see that the filter did not let information pass here, but it did give information to pass through this path. So we are fetching data. If I go back to ChatGPT, we can see here the company name, the first one with the email and the service description. And we can see here the email that it crafted. It asks us, would you like to proceed with this email, modify it, or move to the next lead? So let's say post. Let's see if it works this way. So I'm expecting the system now to send this email. So okay, I've been exceeding with all my responses. That's fine. You can see I can click here, confirm, and let's see if it works. Okay, great. So we can see it says the email has been successfully sent. We'd like to proceed with the next lead. But yeah, it did not fire because we did not set this scenario to immediately as data arrives. We need to click run once. You can see it says here that we have already some data, but I'm going to do use existing data. So I'm going to okay, I wanted to do it fresh, so let's do run once, and let's go back to ChatGPT, and let's do post again. And what will happen is just we are probably going to see two emails in my inbox, in my test inbox. Would you like to proceed with the next email? And let's go back here. So we can see here that we got the email, dear Tech Solutions, we admire your ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-tam. We can say we'd like to discuss how we can support your mission and drive value together. And obviously, you can write better emails than that. It's very, very basic. I just want to show you how to do the action. You can later on craft the emails yourself and explain ChatGPT or your prompt exactly how to write even a better email. And let's see what happened. The second request was not sent, as I was expecting to see two emails. Would you like to proceed with this email? Let's say post the email. So now if I go back to make.com, let's see if it works. I probably need to confirm here. Let's go back. And yeah, it's working. We can see here the one operation, and let's go back to my inbox. And here I can see the second lead was sent. So perfect. Everything seems to work great. So I hope you find this video useful. We just saw a very powerful way of sending personalized email from within ChatGPT. And if you want to use this custom GPT, all you need to do is just click create, go to for now only me, save it, and then we can just access this custom GPT from within the regular custom GPT window. You should see it in here in the taskbar. Here it is down below. And that's it. I can go here, click get, and it will trigger the system and everything will work. Let me show you. You can see here that it says allow, so I need to click allow. But at the moment, the scenario is not running, so it won't work. You can see the data has been, I don't think it really works. Show me the data. I think it's lying. The data has been retrieved, but is not been displayed in this conversation. I'll fetch it again. Let's do it properly. So let's set that to immediately delete all data. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. And let's go back here and click allow. And let's see if it works. It seems I don't have the specific data feature at the moment. However, if you're expecting certain companies, hold on. Let's try everything again. Let's do run once. I just want to make sure that it's working properly. And wait for new data because it was turned off earlier. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to do a new chat. I'm going to click here, fetch, always allow. Here are the leads. All right, perfect. So it works perfect from within ChatGPT. So everything is working. And that's it. There you go. You have an outreach automated AI system that works within ChatGPT. I hope you find this video useful. And if you want all the links, all the prompts and everything, I'm giving it away. Just check the links below.